Shabbat Shalom and welcome to everybody. Welcome to Zoom and welcome to Temple Sinai. Shabbat is arriving. I'm Rabbi Andy Vogel. Our vocalist and rabbinic intern is standing 6 feet to my left, which on the screen probably looks like 3 inches away, but she's actually 6 feet away. Leah Karnow and Rabbi Talia Stein is over there, and she'll join us in just a second. And this is our very first Shabbat, all 3 of us leading together from Temple Sinai's sanctuary. We're live, and it's great to be here. We wish all of you were physically with us here in the synagogue, but it's a pretty good second choice if we have to have everybody on Zoom, and it's great to have everybody here with us. We've got at least 65 people right now, 65 devices, which is probably like 80 people sitting in front of 65 devices or so, all here, and we welcome you. And of course, tonight is also our prospective member Shabbat, so we welcome all of our guests who are joining us and checking out Temple Sinai, and we're really glad to have you here. We're going to begin tonight with lighting our Shabbat candles, and it's my pleasure, in honor of her bat mitzvah tomorrow, amazing, to unmute Isabel Guerin, and her parents, to invite them to light our Shabbat candles, because tomorrow morning on Zoom here at Temple Sinai, Izzy will be called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. So my mouse fell on the floor. Here it is. I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to invite the Guerin family to unmute their computer and to say the blessing, light the Shabbat candles, and then we'll all sing together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. And Isabel, Mazel Tov to you. We'll call you at the end of the service. Now, I'll turn things over to Rabbi Stein. Please join us.
We'll begin with Shalom Aleichem, with welcoming the angels. And I want to offer, Shalom Aleichem, we invite the angels to celebrate Shabbat with us, to accompany us into Shabbat. And our world right now is literally on fire. We are surrounded by suffering and by fear. And as we enter this Shabbat, I invite us to think of the angels, to think of ourselves as angels, as Malachei Elyon, as God's emissaries in this world. And we all, together, with the support of one another, can tend to the task of bringing healing into this world and to the divine task of tikkun olam, of repairing the world.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, we sing a new song.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shir chadash.
We'll continue with the Lecha Dodi prayer, the prayer preparing us for Shabbat. We're in a time of year right now where we're preparing ourselves for the new year, preparing ourselves for Rosh Hashanah in the month of Elul. And Lecha Dodi is the psalm preparing our souls, preparing our bodies for Shabbat. And many of you know the mystics in the city of Tzfat used to prepare themselves. They used to dress in white. They used to spiritually prepare. They would pray all day. They would cleanse themselves. They would clean their whole houses. And they would go down, they would gather together, one by one, they would march through the streets of Tzfat and go into the field and prepare themselves for Shabbat, for the opportunity for Shabbat to be a time of renewal, of rest, and of recharge. So I invite you to think of how Shabbat can be an opportunity for renewal as we sing this psalm. Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likat kala yalala 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Shamor vezachor v'dibur echad Hishmi'ah
take a moment to breathe in Shabbat. Feel your feet on the ground, supported by the chair or the couch or the floor, wherever you are, and let the spirit of Shabbat embrace you. And take a deep breath. And I'll invite you to give a wave to your fellow congregants, to say hello. We're really excited this week to be celebrating prospective member Shabbat, so it's wonderful to see some new faces in the crowd. It's wonderful to see some old faces in the crowd, and give everyone a wave to say hello. And we'll come together for Baruch Hu, for the call to prayer, and we need your voices. So even though you're on mute, I invite you in your homes to sing as loud as you can so your neighbors can hear, so your family can hear. We need your voices, and we'll feel them here at Temple Sinai. Move into the Shema, one of the fundamental prayers in Judaism, and I invite you to turn inwards, to really listen, to find the divine spark within you, that which connects us to all that exists.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם emet. We move into the Micha Mocha prayer, the prayer celebrating the Israelites' freedom from slavery and crossing of the Red Sea. Shamru, we prepared ourselves for Shabbat with the lighting of the candles and with Lecha Dodi, and now we sanctify Shabbat. We offer this as an opportunity for recharge, for renewal, and for rest.
Okay, we're going to continue now with our Amidah, our standing prayer. I invite you, if you wish, to stand in your place wherever you are, or if you're more comfortable to stay seated, you can just stay seated. The Amidah begins with our Avot ve'imachot prayer, as you can see on your screen, where we thank God and acknowledge that we're part of a long chain of tradition extending way back through the generations to Abraham and Sarah, and that includes people who have chosen Judaism. Your lineage too goes all the way back to Abraham and Sarah, and we remind ourselves that one of the things that we lift up in this prayer is Chasdei Avot ve'imachot, the righteous acts, the acts of love and kindness, of caring that our ancestors performed and which are part of our spiritual tradition. So I'm going to invite you as we sing this prayer together, as we begin to chant the Avot ve'imachot prayer together, to think about the chesed, the loving kindness that you've benefited from people in previous generations. So please rise and join us. Here we go. Starting with the meditation that Adonai Sifatai Tiftach. God, open our lips that we can truly pray. Adonai Sifatai Tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevei Geula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo b'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah. Now invite everyone just to take a few moments of your own personal prayer. If you want to close your eyes, remain standing. Offer your own personal prayer to God, whatever kind of prayer that might be. A Hebrew prayer, an English prayer, maybe it's just listening to your heart beating. Whatever prayer is yours, engage in your own personal prayer now directly to God. Achat sha'ati met Adonai ota avakesh. Achat sha'ati met Adonai ota avakesh. Shivti bevet Adonai kol yemei chayai, lachazot benoham Adonai ulevaker behechalo, lachazot benoham Adonai ulevaker behechalo. La la la. Lai, lai, שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו. All right, good. If you happen to still be standing, you can be seated by now. That, of course, was the psalm that we sing in the month of Elul, Psalm 27. One thing that I seek from Adonai, one thing that I request is to be close to God, to have a sense of closeness to God in our lives. Maybe every day of our lives, maybe that's a lot to ask, but certainly in this period of time as we're approaching Rosh Hashanah with just 1 week before Rosh Hashanah, I invite you to think about maybe what's the one thing, your top priority of how to be closer to God and be closer to the self that you want to be. What's the one thing that you need to work on during this time? And you've got 1 week. Go for it. All right, good. We're going to continue now with our Misha Berach for people who are in need of healing. And we ask God to bless them with Rufuat HaNefesh, Urufuat HaGuf. We know that there are lots of people, thankfully fewer people in Massachusetts who are dealing with COVID and infection with the coronavirus, but we're thinking of them. We ask God's blessing for them, that they can find life and health and goodness, especially as we approach the new year. And there's so many other people that we're thinking of too who are in our hearts, people for whom we ask God's blessing for health and for healing. So on this Shabbat, we ask God's blessing for Robin Barenholtz, Amy Perlman, A.B. Haupt, June Ziner, Jim Ziner, Jody Kleiman, Gilbert Kleiman, Ronnie Meckler, Allison Santucci, Meredith Fine, Deborah Kaplan, Nicole Morris, Selma Grubert, Luann Luce, Ben Slavitt, Alan Brackup, Tyrone Cushing, Evelyn Opat, Cantor Sue Knight Deutsch, Samantha Kramer, Michael ben Bluma Ushmuel, Don David ben Ezer Vechaya, Davida Emanuela bat Yechezkel Ephraim, Shoshana bat Moshe Ubela, and Ephraim ben Malka Rachel. And I invite you to recite aloud, even if you're muted, the names of any other people who are in your prayers for healing on this Shabbat. We ask God's blessing to send them all healing and strength. And we'll use the words, as you can see them on your screen, the same words that Moses used in the Torah when he saw that his sister Miriam was sick. Ana elna refana la. Please, God, send them all healing. Ana elna refana la. Ana elna refana la. bless them all with life and healing and goodness. And together we say, Amen. All right. We have now one more special blessing before we turn to words of Torah, and that is with Lissa King, because earlier this summer, Lissa met with the Beit Din of rabbis, there's Lissa right there, to complete her conversion process, to complete her conversion journey. And then in a few weeks later, she immersed in a natural mikveh. The Mayim Chaim mikveh has been closed until yesterday, is my understanding. It just reopened. So Lissa, you got to do the real thing and out in nature and immerse. And Lissa, we want to welcome you and give you a special welcome blessing for joining the Jewish people and embracing Judaism. So it's my great pleasure to call Lissa forward virtually, which we've already done, and for us to hear a little bit of Lissa's journey. And then Lissa will invite you to recite the Shema after that, and then we'll all send blessings your way. So Lissa, I'm going to...
Hi. I also, just the mention of Chesed during the prayer earlier, I realized I forgot to write about my Hebrew name in my little thing. So I wanted to introduce my Hebrew name as well because I love it. So my Hebrew name is Rivka Chesed Mebeit Root, because I really feel a connection with the first convert, of course. But I also want to obviously talk a little bit about my background. So I grew up with, I would call them ex-Catholic parents. So we were vaguely Christian, religious around Christmas and Easter, but I wasn't really brought up in church. I wasn't really brought up with a sense of God or anything like that, which was fine by my parents and fine for my brother. But by the time I was 7, I went to my mom and I told her I believed in God rather definitively for a 7-year-old, and that I wanted to go to church, which was really my only frame of reference for religion. So all my friends who believed in God went to church, so I wanted to go to church. But my mom, being an ex-Catholic, didn't really want to go to church, so we compromised and found a Unitarian Universalist congregation, which was great because I got to go to church and explore my beliefs without being kind of pigeonholed into one or the other. Kind of growing up, I explored a lot of things through that Unitarian Universalist lens, and roughly labeled myself as agnostic. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. And then, like, I knew I believed in God, but I didn't really have a community or a religion that matched my idea of God. So agnostic was what I was comfortable with until I met my partner, who's Jewish, he was born Jewish, and I started going to Seders and Purim parties and Hanukkah lightings, and I realized that this kind of community was really what I was missing in my life. So it was kind of a slow journey from point A to point B, which was my decision to convert and then my eventual conversion. So I've slowly learned what it means to be Jewish and how that fits into my life and how I fit into Judaism, which has been a really fun process with my family behind me and my partner by my side. I've gotten really good at making challah and kugel, which I feel like is my biggest accomplishment as a Jew thus far. I have new favorite holidays that I never knew existed, and I have a huge library of books now, which are very fun. So I'm just really excited to be done with this leg of the journey and be officially Jewish, but I know that the journey is never ending. So I'm really excited to be here and be part of it with you guys.
Wonderful. Lissa, mazel tov to you. You have so much to offer the Jewish people. We're so happy to celebrate with you. I wish so much that we could be in person, but this is still pretty good. It's good to see your face on the screen. And we're going to invite you now. I'm going to sort of, again, virtually place the Torah in your hands. And if you can embrace it and recite the words of the Shema as you did when you immersed in the mikveh, we'll sing the line that responds to you.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Beautiful. Mazel tov. Lissa, with that, you formally and publicly embrace Judaism as your own, and we now embrace you in return, and we bestow a blessing. We hope that this will always be a journey for you of goodness and joy, that you'll find great joy in Judaism, that you'll find the warm embrace of the Jewish community, and that you'll continue to find a sense of holiness for your own life from this time forward. So I'm going to invite everybody at home to raise your hands in blessing in the sign of the ancient Kohanim. And Lissa, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you wish, or if you really want to open them and watch the screen, you can. But actually, I want you to, more than that, I want you to feel that the whole community now is offering our blessing for you. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God shine light upon you, Lissa, and be good to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lach shalom. Shalom. May God smile upon you, Lissa, today and for all of the steps in the journey that you will take, and may God bless you always with shalom, with peace and wholeness. And together we say, Amen. Mazel tov. Siman tavu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, siman tav, siman tavu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, siman tav, siman tavu, mazel tavu, mazel tavu, siman tav. Yehelanu, 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 O lecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, O lecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, O lecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, O lecho Yisrael. Mazel tov. Lissa, welcome to the Jewish people. Isaac, we want to wish you mazel tov as well on this great occasion, and we can't wait to find out what next your Jewish journey looks like. All right, good. Mazel tov. So, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. I want to tell you, of course, Rosh Hashanah is approaching, and it starts next Friday. And while it's a tremendous amount of work for all of us, the three of us who are here in the sanctuary and our staff, like everybody else, I love the rituals of the new year. I love the rituals of the apples and honey, of dressing the Torah all in white. Next week, our Torah curtain in front of our ark will be changed to white because our custodian, Mario Calderon, always changes them around for us so that the Torah can wear white. I love that ritual. I love the ritual of Tashlich. I love the ritual of the shofar. And all of these rituals are very, very powerful. But here's the thing, of course, we shouldn't think that the rituals are magic. They don't do the work for us. And so I was reminded of a story, great story, by the Maggid of Dubno, who was a great storyteller in Eastern Europe, and he went from place to place telling stories to communities where he would watch the community very, very closely, and he would figure out, well, what is the community, what story does the community need to hear from me now? Once he went to a certain village, and he watched them around Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and he saw something wasn't quite right, so he told them this story. He said, once upon a time, and they're all listening, he says, once upon a time, there was a man named Yaakov who went to the big city from a small village, and he was amazed in the big city of how things worked. He was amazed at all the big buildings, at the stores and the shops, all the traffic and the horse-drawn carriages, and yet there was one thing that amazed him the most. He went back to the village, and he said, I want to tell you about this one thing that I saw. He said, whenever a fire broke out in the big city, he said to all the villagers, in the big city, if a fire breaks out in one of the buildings, there's this amazing thing that they have, which is a fire alarm. Everybody shouts, they all bring out their pots and pans, and they beat their drums, and they make a lot of noise. And amazingly, the fire gets put out. And all the villagers were amazed when they heard this. They said, wow, that's really cool. A couple weeks later, he said, there was a fire in the village. And remembering Yaakov's story when he went to the big city, the villagers decided to try the same thing. They went out into the streets with their shouting and their pots and pans, and they banged and they made a lot of noise, but the fire just kept burning. It just kept burning and burning. And they couldn't understand. But they went to Yaakov. They said, Yaakov, you told us this thing. You know, there's this fire alarm that happens, and that people make this big sound and everything. And we tried it, but look what happened is the fire just kept burning. And Yaakov said to them, he said, you guys, you missed one important thing. He said, the horns and the bells and the shouting and the pots and the pans, all they do is alert the people to the fire. But you guys didn't realize that you have to go and put the fire out yourselves. You have to go, it's just to get everybody's attention. And then you have to do the same thing. You have to go and put out the fire. And the Maggid of Dubno said to the villagers who were listening in this one town where he told the story, he said, on Rosh Hashanah, it's the same thing with the shofar. We hear the sound of the shofar. The shofar calls out to us. But if you don't actually then hear the alert and then act to change yourself and change your behavior, then nothing's going to happen. All the shofar does is that it awakens us to the fact that we have to make some changes in ourselves and our behavior. And that's what we have to do now. So this is our time now. We've been hearing the shofar all month at Temple Sinai. We've been going outside. We've had all these shofar blowing gatherings. We're going to hear the shofar a week from tomorrow morning on Rosh Hashanah. And the shofar, it's not magic. It doesn't do it for us. We have to now engage in the work ourselves. And when we do that, then we can transform our lives. So that's our task. So Shabbat Shalom. Let me wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom and a Shana Tova, a good, happy, and sweet new year. And we hope that this will indeed be a year of life and health and goodness for everybody, and that we can all engage in the work of transforming our own lives. We're going to continue with the closing words of the service now with the Aleinu. And if you haven't been joining us all summer, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that we are using the universalistic language, that not that the Aleinu is just for the Jewish people, but it reminds us that all people are created in the image of God and that all of us have work to do. So please rise, follow the words on the screen, and please join us. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer bereshit, shehu notei shamayim v'yosed aretz, umoshav yekaro b'shamayim hima'al, ushchinatu zo begofhei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od. משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Bottom of the screen. על כן נקווה לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות מהרה בתפארת עוזך לתקן עולם במלכות שדי ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו So today is the 19th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, and before we recite our Kaddish, we want to meditate on that and on remember all of the people whose lives were lost. The attacks, of course, brought deep grief and shock to our country, took the lives of nearly 3,000 people, all of whom were innocent, and those attacks changed our lives forever in very, very profound ways. So on this Shabbat, we remember all of those whose lives were taken in the September 11th, 2001 attacks, and we affirm the power of memory. We affirm the power of caring and love, the power of responding to those who experienced loss and tragedy, unimaginable loss, and doing so with our own love. May their memories all be for a blessing. In our own community, we're remembering these individuals whose yahrzeits we observe this week in the calendar. We remember Mary Backner, Sid Crivet Chase, Meyer Fischel, Benjamin Hellman, Saul Eisenberg, Abraham Katz, Jacob Kirstein, Frida Klein, Erna Zimbler-Planenka, Donald Periski, Lillian Sandler, Alan Shanin, Sylvia Sherman, Mary Stevens, Rose Weintraub, and Chaim Yona. And in the past 30 days, the period of Shloshim, we remember these individuals and we send our condolences to their family members who are in mourning during this 30-day period. We remember Lillian Sokolow, mother of Rena Sokolow, who was laid to rest today in New Jersey, and members of our congregation can join Rena and her family for Shiva tomorrow night at 7:30 via Zoom, and we offer Rena our heartfelt condolences. We also remember Herbert Brenner, grandfather of our Rabbi Talia Stein. Rabbi Stein, we offer you our condolences tonight, you and your whole family. We remember Stephen Narva, son of Sira Narva. We remember Ethan Gordon, a Crane Lake camper and a friend of many teenagers at Temple Sinai and in the Crane Lake Jewish summer camp community. We remember Doris Gartman Barenholtz, mother of Rochelle Seltzer, grandmother of Gabriel and Daniel Seltzer, and great-grandmother of Sammy and Aria Seltzer. And Rochelle, I know that you're on tonight, and we offer you our heartfelt condolences, you and your whole family. And we also remember Temple Sinai member Roberta Meyerov. May all of them be in our hearts forever. May their memories be for a blessing. I invite you to recite out loud in your home or wherever you are the names of others for whom you're reciting Kaddish tonight. As a community now, please join. And for this, I would invite you to rise in your place. It's traditional to rise for the mourner's Kaddish. As our community has done in the spirit of Reform Judaism for many decades, I invite you to please rise in your place as together we recite the Kaddish, praising God, the source of life, love, and caring in the universe and in our own lives. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uvizman kariv ve'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru. Amen. May God, the source of peace, send peace to all who mourn and send comfort to all among us who are bereaved. And together we say, Amen. Amen. All right. Shabbat shalom to everybody. In just a moment, we're going to turn to Izzy Guerin to hear about her Tikkun Olam work and also to invite her to lead us in Kiddush. But before that, it's my pleasure to invite Temple President Charlie Homer to unmute himself, and we're going to put the spotlight on you, Charlie, to provide us with some Shabbat announcements. Charlie.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom to all. You can tell that it is now the fall because during the summer, the list of events was small, and this evening it is not quite small, it's long. So tomorrow morning, we have Shabbat morning Torah study, the start of the year for that. It starts at 9 a.m. The weekly update has the Zoom link. In addition, tomorrow morning, as you've heard, will be Shabbat morning services with the bat mitzvah of Isabel Garon and her family. Congratulations to you, and I'm sure it'll be a wonderful, wonderful service. Religious school, of course, starts on Sunday as well at 9 a.m. Again, there'll be lots of information. Those of you who have children in the school, I'm sure, have received the various links. There's adult learning programs as well on Sunday. We have mindfulness and Jewish values Sunday at 11:10. We have a session that Rabbi Stein will be leading, examining the High Holy Days, also this Sunday at 1 p.m. Other announcements you've already heard that next Friday, a week from tonight, of course, is Rosh Hashanah, and we invite all of you to join, those of you who are members, those of you who are not members. All are welcome. There is a form, those of you who are not members, that we would ask that you fill out, although again, we welcome all with or without the form. And on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, a week from this Sunday, there's a second annual, well, our annual second day Rosh Hashanah picnic. There's more information online. That'll be at Millennium Park in West Roxbury. So wonderful. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. Yes, we're hoping that the whole community will join us for the second day of Rosh Hashanah on Sunday, the 20th of September in Millennium Park, as Charlie said. And it's a beautiful, massive space, and we will have shofar blowing as well as our picnic. So please join us for that. The only other thing that I want to emphasize is that the Israel Committee is starting a new project in building bridges with Reform Jews in Israel. So mark your calendar for October 4th, and more information will be coming for that as a way to connect with Israeli Reform Jews live. All right. Tonight is our prospective member Shabbat, and so we especially want to welcome all of those people who are joining us as our guests tonight. You're welcome any night is the truth. You can join us just as you did tonight by finding the link on our website. In just a few moments after the service, we will invite you to join us for a visual oneg, a virtual oneg, that will give us an opportunity to interact with each other just for prospective members, and people have registered in advance, I think, for that. And how can people register? Oh, all right, good. There's a registration link when you sign in as well. So we want to take a few moments after the service, in just a few moments, to greet all of our guests, and Rabbi Talia Stein and I will have the opportunity to talk with you and tell you about our community, and we are very glad that you'll join us. All right, now it's my pleasure to turn things over to Izzy Garin, who is first going to tell us about the Tikkun Olam work that she is doing and has been doing, and then she'll lead us in Kiddush. And we'll also say Mazel Tov, Izzy, to your parents, Mike and Pamela. Izzy, take it away. Tell us about your work.
For my Tikkun Olam project, I created a fundraiser to support the Chelsea Collaborative. I chose to support Chelsea because I saw that this city was the hardest hit in Massachusetts by COVID, and I really wanted to help. This project is meaningful to me because through our fundraiser, we help to supply food, save families from eviction, help people get jobs, and provide other services to the community of Chelsea, Massachusetts. With everyone's support, we raised a significant amount of money to help the people of Chelsea. Thank you so much for all your contributions.
All right, Izzy, Mazel Tov. Good work. Good. All right, I'm going to share the screen now so that you can find the text of the Kiddush, and everyone can, if you have a cup of wine near you, or even if you don't, but later on you should grab one, invite you to raise your cup of grape juice or wine. And Izzy, if you'll lead us in the Kiddush to pronounce Shabbat holy, go for it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava u'bratzon, kinhilanu, zikaron, lema'aseh, bereshit. Ki hu yom tehillah, למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. Beautiful job, Izzy. Mazel tov l'chaim. You could take a sip.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Mazel tov. Well, mazel tov to you and to your whole family. Shabbat morning services tomorrow, as Charlie said, at 10:30 in the morning on Zoom. And again, you can find the link on our website. Izzy, mazel tov to you, and you deserve a good night's sleep tonight. All right, congratulations, congratulations. Before we conclude the service, with the motzi over Kiddush, in this challenging time, we definitely want to take an opportunity for blessings for our whole community. So our vocalist and rabbinic intern Leah Karnow and I will lead everybody in another Birkat Kohanim, a blessing for safety and protection for everybody. We ask God's blessing for our whole community. It's traditional to do this on Friday night with your community, with your children perhaps, but we're all community. So I invite you just to, one more time if you wish, to raise your hand in blessing. We'll offer blessing for each other. Ask God's blessing for health and safety and protection. Shalom. May God bless you with peace and wholeness. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Ve'asem lecha shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom. Ve'asem lecha shalom. May God bless you and all the people that you care about with life and peace and wholeness, with shalom. Amen. Amen. All right, we'll conclude with the motzi. So if you have a challah near you, or even if you don't, please join us. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to everybody. May this be a Shabbat of peace and goodness. Amen. La 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 Shabbat Shalom. Please join us for the 2 onegs that we have, one for members and one for prospective members. Shabbat Shalom.